I can't help being afraid.
Professor Fred's Movie Marvels is a show you must tune in. It's broadcast every week on SCCtv. It'll make you jump out of your skin. Professor Fred's Movie Marvels tonight.
Hello again, class, and welcome to Schlock Cinema 101. I'm your teacher, Professor Fred Hopkins, and we're here to explore more movies that are so bad they're good, more atrociously awful, discombobulatedly discombobulated cinema. So, Igor, lock all the doors. No one gets out of here alive. All right, let's talk a little bit about today's movie, which is the 1959 American-Filipino film Blood Creature, also theatrically known as Terror is a Man, starring Francis Lederer and Greta Thyssen. A couple of things right off the bat are kind of cool. Number one, the star, Francis Lederer. Again, this is a 1959 movie. In 1958, Francis Lederer starred in another totally cool movie called The Return of Dracula, where he plays Dracula who comes to a pathetic, boring Midwestern town claiming to be somebody's cousin from Akron or something like that. So he's a very, very cool actor. Francis Lederer originally came over from Europe and starred in such famous German films as Pandora's Box and such famous international films as Secrets of a Chambermaid and all kinds of very, very cool A pictures where he was a leading man, a leading romantic kind of figure, always with a little bit of a mean streak. That was kind of his forte. He had a very, very successful career in Hollywood throughout the 30s and 40s as a matinee idol. However, by the late 50s, he was getting a little long in the tooth. He was 60 years old at that point. So he was born in 1899. So he lived till 2000. So technically, Francis Lederer lived to be 101 years old, which is totally cool and totally discombobulated in and of itself. His co-star, Greta Thyssen, was a former Miss Universe, I think, or Miss World, or Miss something from the early 50s. And her star had probably diminished considerably by 1959. But she does give one of the coolest screams of all time. And it's a very, very effective scene that you'll see in the film. OK, well, to get an overview of the movie Blood Creature, also known as Terror is a Man, let's look to its literary roots, the adaptation from world literature that it came from. It's based on the story The Island of Dr. Moreau by H.G. Wells. And it's probably the most often filmed story by H.G. Wells, who also wrote Food of the Gods, The Time Machine, all kinds of really great stories, but none have actually been filmed as much as The Island of Dr. Moreau. The idea is that Francis Lederer is an insane, crazed scientist who's been kicked out of the normal medical establishment. So he moves to a bizarre island somewhere in the South Pacific and sets up a laboratory where he sets out to prove his theory that animals can become people. And you'll see in the movie that he comes up with some discombobulated theory of why he's doing it, and I don't really understand it, and who does? But anyway, he's got some reason why he's doing it. But what he's done is he has taken a kind of a real cute panther, I think, you see at the very beginning of the movie, and he's turned that little bitty panther into kind of a kitty monster. I mean, it's a regular person who looks like a regular discombobulated nudge, but like has weird kitty ears. And he or she is all bandaged up all the time, but I think the kitty ears are quite distinctive. So he kind of makes a mistake, and he turns his creature into a kitty monster. And then the idea of the film is he's trying to harness the cruelty of the kitty monster. And there's all kinds of undertones of the beast itself being much more humane than the humans in it, and all that kind of stuff. But we'll talk about more of that later. First off, I have to give you a pop quiz to work on while you're watching the movie. And that pop quiz is, Francis Lederer has a kind of a thick Eastern European accent throughout this movie. Well, he had a thick European accent in all his movies. He was most famous playing matinee idols, as we've already discussed. He was born in what Eastern European country? Think about that, and we'll get back to it in the middle of the film. You will get credit for it, and you must take copious notes because you will be punished severely if you don't get it. For now, let's get back to Blood Creature, also known as Terror is a Man. Turn off the lights. Igor, roll 'em.
I was here this afternoon. He wasn't here then.
He's alive. Go back and get a little. Better hurry. You still have a good deal of ground to cover. My name is Girard. I'm a doctor. We are about 1,000 miles off the coast of Peru. How do you feel?
I guess all right.
Any pain? Good. Did your ship go down?
Yeah. Pedro Queen. It was a freighter.
Your name is William Fitzgerald, huh? We found a wallet in your hip pocket. It's over there on the table. You're a petroleum engineer, huh?
Yeah.
You were headed for the States?
Yeah. Isn't there anybody?
You were alone.
It was an explosion. I was the only one up on top. I thought there might be other boats.
Your lifeboat was the only one washed up.
Do you have any boats here?
No.
Were they radioed?
We have no radio. I'm afraid there's nothing we can do.
Well, You sitting up and taking notice, huh?
Walter, this is William Fitzgerald. Walter Pereira. We carried you off from the beach. Well, did you see anything?
No. But that thing's really hurting, you know. I heard it once. Moaning, crying like. You really want that thing back?
Don't be stupid, Walter.
We must have woke your wife up. She's up on the porch. Well, I'll see you all in the morning. Glad you're okay, Fitzgerald.
Good night. Go in there and stay with him until he finishes it.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. How long have you been up?
I think I woke up when you first brought him in. Is he all right?
He will be. He was on a freighter that went down. He's an American. Apparently the only survivor from what he says.
There isn't anything you can do about the others, is there? Walter said that you found him on the beach. It has escaped again, hasn't it?
Going to dig pits tomorrow.
I knew it. I heard it sounded like a human.
There is nothing to be afraid of, dear. It's as frightened of you as you're of it.
Yes, I suppose it is. It's known nothing but pain and fear since we came here. I can't help being afraid. I'm afraid of this house, this island. Please let the animal go. Let it escape. Then we can leave here.
Francis, we have spent 2 years working on that animal here. It would be absurd to throw that away. And the dozen years before that, learning, experimenting. That's important.
What about us? Aren't we important?
My dear, of course we are.
Please don't. This is so cheap.
There's just no talking to you tonight, is there? Good night.
Sir? Are you feeling all right, sir?
Yeah. Feeling a little bit like a human being again. I'm just thinking. I'm a pretty lucky human.
Yes, sir. Can I do something for you, sir?
No, I'm fine, Tiago, thanks. I think that was about the finest meal I ever had. And I thank you for the razor and the clothes. Did Dr. Girard say when he'd be back?
No, sir.
Flowers for your girl?
They're for my mother, sir. I'll take them now if you don't want something.
No, I'm fine, thanks. Tiago, is there anybody in the house now?
No, sir.
Well, there was something about traps last night. Is he hunting today?
Yes, sir. He's hunting.
Tiago? Who lives here, Tiago?
Dr. Girard, Mrs. Girard, Mr. Walter, my sister.
I mean here on this island. What people live here?
Not any, sir.
Not any.
Nobody.
Hello? Hello? Anybody around?
stay there. It's all right. I didn't want you to walk into this pit. There's a pit here. It begins about a dozen feet in front of me. It's covered with leaves and branches. Do you see it? How do you feel?
Pretty good. What is this, a trap?
Yes, we're just about finished. Just a little over there, then you're through. Mr. Fitzgerald, this is my wife, Frances.
Hello.
How do you do? I'm glad you're feeling so much better.
Yes, I've been thinking about that. I'm pretty lucky.
You shouldn't be running around like this, but as long as you are here, it's all right.
Can I help?
No, thanks.
Are there any more pits like this?
3 more. Did you have anything to eat?
Plenty. Tiago's a good man.
I'm sorry there wasn't one of us there, but we had to get this done. It's been a very difficult day.
Is it a particular kind of animal you want?
Yes, we dug those pits and we put out some drugged meat. One or the other ought to do the job. It's all right. Let's go. The sun will be down in an hour.
I must have slept for 20 hours.
That's good. You needed it.
I guess I did. Feel as if I'm not awake yet.
To you, darling, for many reasons. The most immediate being our delightful supper.
I think we should be toasting Mr. Fitzgerald for reminding us we still can be civilized on occasion.
That's right. Mr. Fitzgerald is our first guest.
Seems so much longer than 2 years. I'd forgotten we had good china or silver or the manners to use them.
I'd like to drink to destiny, or the fates, or whatever it was that put me ashore here on your island.
I'm going to walk around a little. It's been 2 or 3 hours now. We might have caught us a cat by now. Yeah, I'll get that black devil back. And I'll write.
Yes, sir.
You can bring a coffee now, Selina. Just 3. Ah, this has been wonderful. I'd almost forgotten about the animal, this island.
This has been a very pleasant evening.
You've been here 2 years? At first I had the idea you were a missionary.
You'd be a very poor spot for missionaries now. Now I'm a surgeon. I'm doing some experimental work here. You must have come through the village this afternoon.
Yes.
Well, didn't Tiago tell you?
About the village?
Well, it has been inhabited until last night. 50 or 75 people were living here.
What do you mean? They all just left?
Not quite so sudden or so strange. They're very superstitious people. They never quite understood what I'm doing here. They thought to be some sort of an evil spirit. Oh, we've had some trouble before.
Must be a primitive bunch.
Well, most people are, aren't they? Wouldn't have been much different in New York.
What did they do?
Nothing. They...
I was on my way back home to stay. I'll be a long time for except you.
You? I don't. What do you mean?
A panther here. Not on an island the size of this one. Do you see many of them?
No. No, we brought this animal with us when we came here. Charles got it from a dealer in Girard.
It's for his work.
Yes. It escaped last night.
They'll pay.
Yes, they'll find it. Then he'll want him in his work again. I don't think I can.
Do you work with him?
I'm going to leave on the next boat whether Charles' work is finished or not. Sometimes I think I'll die on this island. Will you help me, Mr. Fitzgerald?
Certainly, but... Looks like they got him.
Yes. I'll have to go in now.
See? Nothing to be afraid of now.
Yes, there is.
Well?
Francis, we'll come out now.
Charles, please don't. Leave him alone tonight.
Them feet, don't you?
Yes, tomorrow.
All right.
You got him.
Yes, he's unconscious. There was more coral hydrate in that meat that would put out an army. We have to bring him to, otherwise he'll die.
I didn't realize it escaped. Your wife told me you used him in your work.
He is my work.
Well, I think I feel as if I've been making myself. I think I'll go to bed.
Yes, you're still very weak. It will take a few more days.
Dr. Girard, I know this work is important to you, and I also know that the whole thing is none of my business, but...
Yes, this work is very important to me. It's the most important thing in my life. I came here to do a very specific piece of work. I came to this island because it afforded me privacy. There's no one here to waste my time.
I understand.
Good night. No change?
No.
Must be the generator. Will you please go install it?
Yes. It's more than half full.
There must be something else. I cannot stop to check now. The candles must be over there in the top drawer, if we need them. Let's hope we don't.
Are you operating tonight?
No, not tonight.
You know, this is wrong. I can't help you anymore. I can't.
All right. I have water come down. Clean up.
All right. I'm sorry.
Hello? Your own private beach.
Yes. Sometimes it's a little too private. How do you feel today?
Fine. Been exploring your island. Say, I was wondering. I just passed through the village, and I meant to ask last night about the graves there. Is one of them the boy's mother, Tiago's?
Yes. She was our servant. Her name was Alicia. She was killed the first time the animal escaped. She was the first one. Night before last, it escaped again. 3 people were killed that time.
That was why they left. Your husband didn't say anything about it.
No.
I guess he had his reasons. Last night you said you were afraid. You never said what you were afraid of. Is it your husband?
Yes. Will you help me?
I said I would. But I don't think there's anything to worry about. They're not going to let it get loose again. Must be a mean animal.
It's a pitiful creature. Don't let's talk about it.
Don't you feel better today than you did last night?
I always feel better in the daylight, out in the sun.
Along the Gulf of Mexico, there's a little beach. Something like this.
I was imagining this was the French Riviera before you came.
Have you ever been there?
No.
It's pretty overrated.
I thought I would love it when I first came here. Seems a long time ago. 2 years. I was busy making plans. I was planning to marry a wealthy doctor. Live on an island in the South Seas.
Sounds better than a travel poster.
I thought so then.
It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Please don't. I'm not lonely. I'm frightened.
Won't be long. I hate to see it come. Remember?
Yes.
You like a drink?
No, thank you.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Miss Girard, will the doctor not be having his dinner?
No, if he wants anything, he'll get it himself, Tiago.
He hasn't been upstairs the whole day, you know, but I called down to him a couple of times. He said he was busy. That's all right with me. Maybe that stinking animal down there is going to die. You want another one?
Not yet, thanks.
You gentlemen have your drinks. I think I'll say good night.
Already?
Good night.
Good night, Mrs. Girard. She's kind of touchy tonight, ain't she?
She's a little edgy. I guess we all are.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's touchy. Was it? That's right. I hadn't thought about it. But, you know why that is?
No, why?
It's the weather. That's right, that's the weather. I know what I'm talking about. I was born and raised in rain country, in Guatemala, you know. Over there, when it rains, or it's going to rain, people are going to get mean. You know? Irritated. It's the weather. Same thing here.
Makes sense. Imagine scientists.
Scientists? Let me tell you something, friend. I have enough science to last me the rest of my life. I work around in hospitals. I was 23 back home. And let me tell you, that Girard is worse than the rest of them put together.
What do you mean?
Oh, well, nothing. It's my own fault for coming down to this stinking island. You know, I thought I was going to have it pretty soft down here. There it is. I'm going on to bed. I could, though. I could tell you some things. A lot of them. I mean, right here.
You could, huh?
Yeah. Stinking rain.
Nothing to say, is there? I thought you decided my work was none of your business.
So I did.
You want a fresh drink? I see you are interested in what I'm doing here. I wonder why. Organs, transplanting tissue or bone from one part of the body to another, sometimes one body to another. And there's been some progress in plastic work recently, but basically, surgery has remained primitive, limited. Its potential not even imagined by medical men. I can imagine it, though. And surgery is only a part of my work, a small part. It's here on the desk, most of it. These are the records.
Could I have it firsthand?
I feel as if I were 100 years old tonight. I began thinking about this already in medical school. Actually started working only about 10 or 12 years ago. Simple work at first, on smaller animals, skin and bone grafts, alterations of major organs, to bring about a modification of a species, but a modification to such a degree that the subject will lose the characteristics of its own species and take on those of another. Do you understand?
I think so.
Oh, I don't mean surface or topographical changes, but basic modifications. Do you understand?
Well, on the face of it, it seems unnatural. Is that what the others say?
Yes, that's what they say. It's no more unnatural than evolution. It is evolution.
And you've speeded up the process, is that it?
You make it sound very simple. It isn't. There's more to it than surgery.
That's what you said.
You see, surgery can alter appearance. It can change a rat into a rabbit. But the real difference lies in the brain, its size and the function of the individual areas. There is where the change has to be made.
You can change the size of a brain, cause it to enlarge.
More than that. Enlarge and actually alter the cellular structure by the use of certain chemical. I developed it. It's a synthetic. It's similar to a glandular extract. Now, infinitesimal amounts of this chemical injected directly into the brain during surgery will bring about alteration of the individual cells, cell division, and cell growth. I can control the size of the brain. I can control the function of the various areas. What do you think?
I think you've given me something to think about.
I can alter living matter, alter it basically, from its smallest unit to its largest, from one cell to many trillion.
And that's what the animal downstairs is for.
Yes, we can talk some more tomorrow. I still have a great deal of work to do tonight.
All right, good night. Dr. Girard, the changes in evolution have come about through a process of natural selection, haven't they?
Yes.
But in your work, the selection isn't nature's, though it's yours. Your choice.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to operate tomorrow. Would you like to come downstairs?
Yes, I would.
Mrs. Fitzgerald, please do not take what my wife says too seriously. She is afraid, and she doesn't know what she's afraid of.
Me too.
Still, there is nothing to be afraid of. Be still.
I kind of think that H.G. Wells would be flipping over in his grave if he saw what his original story had been turned into. One thing I'd like to comment on is that the woman playing the servant in the film. I think everybody, if you read the original H.G. Wells story, or if you've seen any of the other film adaptations of it, every version of this movie, The Island of Dr. Moreau, which we're seeing as Blood Creature, also known as Terror is a Man, features a cat animal girl who's usually the beautiful servant and who turns into a vicious cat halfway through. I keep waiting, and I think we all do, for this beautiful woman who serves everybody to turn into a cat in this movie, but she never does. Think about that. Also, can anybody understand what the function of Walter in this movie is? I mean, what does Walter do? Walter walks around disparaging all the other characters, lusting after Greta Thyssen, and basically just getting poop-faced, you know, on cheap liquor in the cabin. I mean, who needs Walter? Well, anyway, the answer to the pop quiz that I asked earlier is that Francis Lederer is from Prague, Czechoslovakia. I don't know if you knew that, but it is true. He was from Prague, Czechoslovakia. Another cool factoid is that Francis Lederer, who plays the lead in this film, lived to be 101 years old in real life. He was born in 1899 in Prague and died in the year 2000, presumably in Hollywood, even though his career had waned by the time he made Blood Creature, or Terror is a Man. In the late 50s, he continued to act in a few movies through the 60s, but he didn't really need to act because he was wealthy through good real estate investment. So that's another thing. Take your real estate course, students. That's the way to go. Plastics is the future. Hey, we now are ready to get back to the movie, Blood Creature, Terror is a Man, but I need to ask you another pop quiz question, and that is this. H.G. Wells' story, The Island of Dr. Moreau, has been made into countless movies over the years. It was made into a classic 1930s A picture called The Island of Lost Souls, starring Charles Laughton. It was also made into a 70s version called The Island of Dr. Moreau, and it was made into a fairly current film, also called The Island of Dr. Moreau. So it's a multi-layered, multiplexed, deeply dividuous question that I've got. It's a three-parter. The first part is, what famous actor played the leader of the animal people in the 1930s version of The Island of Dr. Moreau called The Island of Lost Souls? This actor who played the leader of the animal people is in many of our Schlock Cinema 101 movies, and he is a classic Schlock Cinema actor. He gives an outstanding performance in this film, too. If you want a little bit of extra credit, tell me who the two male leads were in the 1970s version of The Island of Dr. Moreau. And if you want superbly putative triple extra credit brownie points, tell me who the two male leads were in the fairly current version of just a few years ago of The Island of Dr. Moreau. Think about it. Work hard. Believe in it. Let's start the movie again. Take copious notes. Have your pencils at the ready. Igor, roll 'em.
Thank you, Tiago.
Yes. Sir, I was wanting to ask you. Will you carry this with you? In your pocket.
Well, sure, Tiago. What is this?
Aku. Good morning.
Good morning. It's hard to believe it rained last night, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Would you want some orange juice now, Mom?
Yes, please.
Good morning. How are you feeling? I could say that you're not to blame for what happened last night.
I don't want to talk about it now.
If I thought it was something to be ashamed of,
Please don't say anything. Talking just makes it worse.
we'll have to face it sooner or later.
I don't want to talk about it now.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just coffee, Tiago. Where's Walter?
Walter had quite a bit of sleeping medicine last night.
Not too much, I hope. I need him to assist me this morning.
Are you operating this morning?
Yes.
Say, what is aku?
I see you must have been talking to Tiago, huh?
Yes, he gave me this.
Yeah, that's an aku. It's a sort of good luck charm. All the natives here believe in it. Tiago must think you need a little bit of good luck, huh?
Who doesn't?
That's right. Mr. Fitzgerald and I had a talk last night. I tried to explain to him what we are doing here.
What you are doing, Charles.
You see, my wife does not approve. You still feel like coming along?
Sure. Right now?
Yes. You won't be bothered by his crying for a while. I'll be going into his larynx.
He'll have no voice?
Oh, just for a few hours. You won't change your mind?
No.
Well, I'm going to wake Walter. Tiago, maybe getting him some breakfast. Shall we start?
Hmm.
You will find it odd to find here in the middle of a jungle a complete laboratory, surgical equipment. We even have our own generator and X-ray machine. The animal is in here. Get him under a table. Take the legs. There's weight. It's a lot of it. Secure the hand straps, will you?
You operating right now?
Yes, as soon as water comes down. You want to stay?
Yes, I'd like to.
Glad you're here. Later, whether you approve or not, at least you'll believe what you'll see. Oh, Walter, get yourself cleaned up. If you can't lift this, use the knob. It's always hard to believe great changes unless you have seen all the steps. At least you have seen one of them.
You said great changes. What did you mean? What kind of changes?
Some people would call them miracles.
Would you?
Yes. Do you believe in miracles?
I don't know. I've been around a little. I haven't seen one yet.
Yes. You are young and you have been around. You think you know enough of the world to speculate on its past or its future. I don't. I still believe in miracles. Walter? I've performed exactly 53 major operations on him in the last 2 years.
Dr. Girard, this animal.
Yes, he's terribly strong. It's ironic that such a lethal brute should fear me. But he does. I think you better get out.
I'll wait upstairs. Hi, Tiago.
You were there for a long time, sir.
Didn't realize it was that late.
Yes, sir. Far past noon. Do you have aquaco?
Mm-hmm. Here we are.
You will need it, sir.
Yeah, I might at that. Just finished. Francis, could I talk to you for a minute?
I have to help them clean up. Did you have any trouble?
No?
I'll stay here. You can go upstairs and rest.
I thought you didn't want to come down here anymore.
So did I, but I'm here.
Will you help Mrs. Girard to clean up? Francis, you check his heart every few minutes, huh? I'll be back in about an hour.
All right.
I can get my clothes, Mrs. Girard. You tried to get loose once before. You got him stuffed down now. But just the same, it's no sense letting him get started again. Sure. Well, I wanted to talk about you.
What do you mean?
Just to talk.
What do you want, Walter?
Oh, I don't want anything. I sure don't want you to get sore at me. I want to help you.
I don't need any help. And if you don't leave, I'm going to call Dr. Girard.
Oh, come on. You're not going to call him. That's why I didn't want to talk to you earlier. Any place public, you know. Like the beach. I really don't blame you none. After all, it's none of my business. But you are wrong about not needing any help. You do, because let me tell you, that husband of yours is crazy. You counting of getting the next boat off this island. He just might not let you, you know that? That Fitzgerald. He ain't gonna help you. He's helping your husband. You need somebody on your side. I really want to help you, if you will let me.
Stay away from me, Walter.
Get your boyfriend a little upset. You stood that.
Forget about this now, Walter. But don't ever come close to me again.
Time somebody took you down a peg or two.
Hi. Hi, Selena. Is the doctor up from his nap yet? He was asleep when I left.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Mr. Fitz,
Yes, Selena?
you will talk to him?
Well, I did want to see him. Why?
Mr. Fitz, Mrs. Doctor is a good woman. You help her to go away, please. My brother and I go with you. Only you can help, Mr. Fitz.
I'll do what I can, Selena. I promise. But I thought you and Tiago wanted to stay here.
Our home is here, but no more. Nothing now belongs here. Only death.
Hey, that's a bad bruise, Selena. Where did you get that?
It's nothing.
Who did that to you, Selena?
No one.
Pereira?
No.
Oh, there you are, Fitzgerald. I see it hasn't rained all afternoon. You've been exploring the island?
Not really. Just walking, thinking.
Come into my study. I have something to show you that might interest you.
Another hot day, huh?
Come in, Mr. Fitzgerald. Sit down. This is what I wanted to show you. It should make your perspective about my work fairly complete.
Dr. Girard, what kind of animal is that you have downstairs? What do you call it?
What would you call it?
I don't know. I've been thinking about that. Ever since I saw the eyes. All I saw was the eyes, but
Well, what would you call it?
a man. Am I wrong?
What is a man, Mr. Fitzgerald? Where does the species begin?
I saw his eyes, and there was a soul there. I'd call him a man.
Well, if he's a man, if he has a soul, I gave it to him, didn't I?
I don't think you have the right to.
Mr. Fitzgerald, I'm a scientist, not a philosopher. I cannot possibly concern myself with the moral aspects of my work. There'll be enough people who'll be only too eager and willing to take care of that when the time comes.
Why do you want to do this? Do you know?
Certainly I know. I'm perfectly sane.
I've never thought anything else, but I'm still curious to know why.
Well, man breeds animals for his own purpose. He improves them, modifies them. He speeds up the process of natural evolution. Now, you could ask, why not use the same principle to improve the human race? Well, it cannot be done, because man's mind is not his own. It's completely dominated by complexes, anxieties, fear, and prejudice of countless sick generations before him. That's why I've chosen the animal to be the father of a new race of man. He alone will have a new, fresh mind, capable of thinking his own thoughts with a complete objectivity. I've never known such a man, have you?
Maybe someday such a man will evolve naturally. There are laws, natural laws.
Yes, but why wait? We can only find out about these natural laws by waiting, watching, and recording them over hundreds, thousands of years and generations. What a waste of time. Let me show you something, Mr. Fitzgerald. Here, this is a photograph of the animal when we first brought it here. Here are sketches showing the various stages of development. This is evolution, Mr. Fitzgerald. A man evolved from an animal in less than 2 years. According to natural law, it cannot be done. Well, I have done it.
Have you? In appearance, perhaps, but inside, he's still a beast, a killer.
Semantics. This creature killed by instinct, out of fear. The same instinct of fear that makes people kill each other, go to war. That instinct, I'm afraid, I've not yet been able to isolate and remove with a scalpel.
In the meantime, he's killed 4 people without reason.
How childishly naive and sentimental you are. What do the lives of 4 people?
You mean you don't care about the lives of these people?
I care as little about theirs as I do about my own.
Well, that's your business, but you don't have the right to involve your wife in all this.
Mr. Fitzgerald, why should any man value another more than he does himself?
That's your philosophy.
Isn't it yours? Be honest with yourself. It takes courage, I know. Well, I have it. And that is why nothing, absolutely nothing, will stop me or alter my course.
So what is your course from here?
I shall continue my work, and I shall succeed in creating a higher, a perfect man. entering another life. Can you imagine what he feels? What he thinks?
Does he think?
Yes. Man. 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 Good. Good man. Yes. Yes.
Yes. He is a man. Something?
I think so. Use this. Wish I knew what was wrong. No pain. There is no pain. It may have something to do with you. Why don't you wait outside? Both of you. Don't be afraid. Nothing is going to happen to you. There's nothing to fear. Don't be afraid. It down here with a torch.
What about you?
Go on.
Get a torch. He needs you down there.
Tiago's gone after it.
That will do. The gun, where is it?
Are you all right?
Yeah.
What about Charles?
He's okay. Tiago!
Hold on, you minds. You'll get us all killed.
You're afraid of the shark. Do you have a match?
Yeah.
I'll stop him.
Careful, water.
Please don't hurt him.
Good job.
Somebody help me with this. Quick.
He hurt.
I'll give him a sedative.
Devil tore up that whole place down there. Don't that matter any?
No. The damage can be repaired. It doesn't matter. Besides, we have other drug supplies.
Oh, you should have let me finish him off myself. He's a killer to start with.
I don't want to hear any more of that. He's no more of an animal than you are.
And he is a man. Is he, Charles?
Yes, he is.
You call that thing a man?
Charles, we've got to get out of here.
Let's talk about it later.
There's no need to talk about it later. We have no secrets here, any of us. We live too closely for that.
Yeah,
Please, let's leave as soon as possible.
I can't.
And I've got to go by myself.
I know what a strain this has been on you, Francis, but you are still my wife.
Am I? What exactly does that mean to you?
I told you how I felt about my work before we were married. I never said that living with me would be one endless romantic adventure.
Charles, I'm so sick of this. I'm not trying to put the blame on anyone. I don't care who's to blame. All I know is that I can't live here any longer. I don't even know you.
You don't know me? Whom do you know? Yourself? Fitzgerald, perhaps?
What do you want me to say, Charles?
There is nothing to say. We both know how things stand.
Do we? I suppose you're the injured party. The innocent and misunderstood husband.
Francis, why are we so hostile? You just never understand that whatever I've done here was not for myself, but for humanity.
Did it ever occur to you to ask me if I thought it was worth it?
You leave here with me when I'm ready. You'd better accept that as final.
I'm not like that poor creature downstairs, Charles. You didn't create me.
He's going back to the lab.
He's gone clean out of his mind, calling that thing a man. Spec will have to do something.
Like what?
Like! Somebody's got to stop him. He'll get us all killed. What he is doing, that ain't right, and you know it. You act like you want him to keep on. What's the matter with you, anyway? I think you're as crazy as he is.
Do you think Charles is insane?
He may be a genius. He's not insane. It's a fine line.
There's somebody got to stop him.
You're not the one, though, Walter, even if you're right.
I don't know what he's fixing to do down there, but I think we ought to do something.
What are you going to do, Walter? Get drunk?
You get off talking to me like that, mister.
Oh, please be quiet, Walter.
You two are pretty smart, aren't you? He don't know how smart, does he?
Get up.
Stay up. I'm going down there. I'll have a little talk with you later, mister.
Take it easy, Walter.
Yeah, take it easy. That thing gets loose again. Kill all of us.
Don't be stupid.
I'm not stupid, mister. I'm not stupid.
Generator.
We'd better do something about it. There's no time to lose the lights.
Downstairs.
Where's some candles?
In my room.
Find it.
No, there should be some downstairs. I thought they were here. Here it is.
This thing's dead. Do you have any matches, a lighter?
No, not here.
It's all right, Francis. Nothing to be afraid of now. We're getting away from here together. I'll tell him tonight.
To leave by myself, I've got to.
But I love you, Francis. Don't you know that?
I don't know anything. Maybe some people can accept mistakes and make the best of them, not me. I loved him a long time. Can't just forget that. Please leave me alone. Still hear him?
No. Yes, Iago.
Both all right?
Yes.
Yes.
Water is dead.
You want to go after him tonight?
He hasn't been gone long. If he's close, we might find him even in the dark. Iago, get the slickers out of the big closet. Bring the flashlights and the 2 coils of rope from the door.
But how are you going to stop him? How?
I don't know.
It'd be crazy to try and look for him tonight. If I were you, I'd wait till morning.
But you are not me. Why don't you, instead of hindering me, help me, Mr. Fitzgerald? That's what I would do if I were you.
All right. If we find him, how do we take him?
I don't know exactly. I'll get the hypodermic kit.
Sir, I'll take this one.
No, you stay here. You stay with the women.
Sir.
Do you have a gun?
Yes, but we won't need it. We'll be back before long.
Yes. Sure, the windows are locked, all of them. The back door, everything, all the way around. You take the room, Selena.
Yes, Mom.
Dead. Francis! 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 Look in all the rooms. I'll go downstairs. Francis! Fitzgerald!
Came back while we were gone.
He must have gone out the back way. We've got to find him.
We have to find her, Doctor.
This goes down to the cliff. You take this way.
We only have one gun between us.
I won't need this, neither will you. He'll do whatever I tell him to do. There is nothing to be afraid of. Put her down. Put her down. Come here. Come here.
Leave him alone, Charles.
Keep away from him! the boat?
It's gone, sir.
He wanted to help me.
The sun will be up soon.
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Where did that kitty monster go? I got some cat treats for you, kitty. I got some great kitty food. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. I mean, what happened to that kitty monster anyway? I mean, he walked along the beach, he said goodbye to the little boy, and then he's gone. I mean, it was the perfect opportunity for a sequel, Blood Creature 2, but looks like we're safe. It's been 40 years, and it hasn't been made yet. Class, you do note, of course, the little boy who is kind of the only likable character in the film. I mean, he's friendly to everybody, even grouchy old Francis Lederer. I mean, the kid is he's just good. I mean, he symbolizes everything that's good. And remember at the very end where the kitty monster kind of comes towards him, not in a threatening way, and the little boy holds out his hand. So I don't know what happened. I do notice that when Greta Thyssen and Richard Derr, who plays the shipwrecked American sailor, come down to the water, the little boy says, the boat is gone. Not that there's been any mention of a boat being there, but I guess we're supposed to assume that maybe the kitty monster sailed away on a boat and maybe went to Hawaii on a cheap, 7-day deal or something. Anyway, just to give a brief overview of the movie, this was one of the many, many versions of H.G. Wells' classic Island of Dr. Moreau story. And let's dovetail into answering the pop quiz that I asked you earlier. I asked you a 3-part, multi-layered, discombobulated, constipated question about the other versions of Island of Dr. Moreau. And the first part of the question was the 1930s A-picture Paramount version of the Island of Dr. Moreau starred Charles Laughton. It also starred a tremendous schlock cinema actor who's in many of our movies as the leader of the animal people. And I asked you who that was. And as you all correctly guessed, it was Bela Lugosi in one of his last A-picture roles in the movie Island of Dr. Moreau. Island of Lost Souls, actually, is what it was called. And in that movie, Lugosi chants to the other animal people, "What is the law? Not to eat meat. That is the law. Are we not men?" And of course, that phrase was expurgated and glommed onto by the 70s pop group Devo, who made that phrase, "Are we not men? We are Devo," famous. And that was directly taken from that movie. The other part of the question was what 1970s version of Island of Dr. Moreau starred 2 famous American leading men, and who were they? Well, those 2 famous American, actually they weren't both American. The American star was Burt Lancaster, but playing the young shipwrecked guy was British actor Michael York, most famous for Cabaret and Zeppelin and films like that, and a very nice guy. I met him down in Hollywood on one of my various sabbaticals down there. And the third part of our multi-phase, multi-task, extra credit question, which actually gives you tremendous brownie points, is who were the 2 male leads of the most recent version of Island of Dr. Moreau, also called Island of Dr. Moreau? The answer is Val Kilmer and Marlon Brando. But that's enough for today's class, students. I hope you got a lot out of it, and I hope you'll go home and watch more So Bad They're Good B movies. Igor, unlock the doors. Class, you are free for the moment. Come back for Schlock Cinema 101 once again next week with Professor Fred Hopkins.
Professor Fred's Movie Marvels is a show you must tune in. It's broadcast every week on SCCtv. It'll make you jump out of your skin. Professor Fred's Movie Marvels. Professor Fred's Movie Marvels. Showing bad horror movies. They're good, but they're so bad. There's a pop quiz after.